My grandchildren, in the times of which I shall tell, South Dakota was the land of the Sioux. In the Pahasapa, the sacred hills, the Great Spirit dwelled, and the holy men of our tribes came to commune with him in their visions. It was in the days of the open prairies, stretching away and away, over hill and valley and plain, with nothing to stop them but the sky. It was a sea of shining green, sailed by drifting cloud shadows. It was the home of the fleet of foot and wing. It was shared by Pteh, the bison, and by all the little dwellers of the earth. All this belonged to the Sioux. To the Sioux, the seasons were as a great circle. With the spring came new life. Over the summer grasses, the young ones grew to adulthood. Autumn was the time of ripening, and in the winter snows, the old ones remembered their childhood. There were many great tribes of the Sioux Nation: Sisseton, Wahpeton, Yankton, Teton, Burned Thighs, Minneconjou, Ogallala, Hunkpapa. The Sioux speak of themselves as Dakotas, meaning alliance of friends. Each tribe had trusted men to record its history. Great was their seeing medicine, and the stories they put down in truth. On a buffalo hide, carefully tanned, the story catchers painted the important things of each year. Often the Wichashawakan, holy man, would help the story catchers paint the legends. This was the winter count begun many sleeps ago. And great was the interest of the people as it was recorded. The old ones tell of how the Sioux Nation was born. Many, many winters ago, a great flood covered all the western lands. To get away from the rising waters, many tribes fled to the hills of the prairie, now called the Kato in northeastern South Dakota. In the Kato, the water rose higher and higher until it covered all our people. Their flesh and blood were turned into red pipestone. So say the old ones. But near the end, as the waters came on without stopping, there was one who was the most brave and beautiful of all her people. And still she tried to escape the waters lapping at her feet. At last Wambali, the great eagle, swooped down from the realm of the thunderbird, and the young Dakota maiden caught hold of his feet. The eagle carried her away and away. At last he brought her to the top of a tree on a great hill. When the waters went down, the war eagle, now changed into a mighty warrior, came down from the hilltop with the maiden, leading twins. So the great Sioux Nation was born. The sacred pipestone, which was the flesh of our ancestors, is smoked as a symbol of peace. In ceremony, the pipe is always offered to the 4 cardinal directions and to the Grandmother Earth before it is offered to the Great Spirit. There is a story of how the pipe first came to the Sioux a very long time ago. 2 scouts looking for bison saw something a long way away, toward the place where the sun always rises. When they approached, they saw it was a woman. One of the scouts, being foolish, had bad thoughts, but the other said, "This is a sacred woman. Do not lust for her." The woman knew the thoughts of the wicked warrior, and when he went to her, a white cloud covered them. When it blew away, the foolish one was a skeleton. Then the woman said, "Tell your people that they shall build a teepee for me at the center of the nation, and I will come to them." The other scout, much afraid, returned to his people, who built the ceremonial lodge and waited for the sacred woman. After a while she came, very good to look upon, and singing. As she took the sacred pipe from her bundle, the people saw it was carved with a bison calf, to mean the earth that bears and feeds us. Below the pipe stem, eagle feathers for the sky and the moons were tied with the grass that never breaks. "Behold," she said, "with this pipe you will multiply and be a strong nation. Nothing but good shall come from the pipe. Only the hands of the good shall take care of it, and the bad shall not even see it." Then she left, walking sunwise around the circle and singing. And as the people watched, suddenly she was a white buffalo, and then she was gone. High in the Kato is a great stone marked by the Thunderbird. Long before the days when Sioux moccasins passed in the buffalo grass, others came to pray here. The Thunderbird writes the mysteries of the moon and stars in the sky. His is the power to make live and to destroy. He rides on the wings of the clouds, and his voice is the thunder. Our people send a voice to him with the power of the pipe. Beneath the weight of the Thunderbird's foot, the mountain sinks. A legend still believed by the Sioux was born in Pahasapa, the beautiful Black Hills. When dusk comes to this land, the rocks turn into spirits that sing strange songs. Healing waters flow from the rocks, and the people fill their buffalo horn cups and drink, and are pure again. On the cliffs, unknown hands have made strange pictures. These are read by holy men to guide the people in good living. In the days of long ago, when the buffalo were many more than we could count, there lived a maiden called Menekata on the shores of Lake Campesca. Menekata was young and good to see, worth many gifts and horses. Many were the young braves who boasted of the time when they would be doing great things, stealing horses, killing buffalo, counting coup on snakes and crows to win Menekata. But the heart of Menekata belonged to a neighboring hunter, and none other pleased her. At last, to silence the noisy young braves, Menekata promised that whichever one of them could throw a rock the farthest into Lake Campesca, she would follow to his lodge. Many were the rocks the eager braves hurled into the waves, but whenever one claimed that he had thrown the farthest, Menekata shook her head and covered a mischievous smile with her eagle-wing fan. The dancing waters held the secret of who had thrown the farthest. No one could judge the exact distance. So many rocks were thrown that an island grew in the lake, and still the shy maiden shook her head no. It was getting toward the time of the evening meet, the sun near setting, when at last the braves realized they had been tricked. Sputtering like wet buffalo fat thrown on the fire, they carried the young maiden out upon the isle, to leave her there without meat or water, until she would say which one she would marry. But Wakantanka appeared in the form of a great white pelican, who brought her food, and after many suns had set, her lover returned in his canoe and took her away to his lodge. And that is how Maiden's Isle came to be in Lake Campesca. Up in the Badlands at the edge of the world sits an Indian woman who is Ga'ihuni, come to very old age. She decorates a buffalo hide with porcupine quills. Her dog watches her. When the fire under her kettle of herbs gets low, she gets up to put on more wood and to stir the herbs. While her back is turned, the watchful dog unravels her work again. This has been going on for thousands of years. The old woman quills, the watching dog unravels. If she should ever finish her quillwork design, it would be the end of the world. So says the Sioux Legend. If one would but listen to the hills and bluffs, they would have many stories to tell. The story of Snake Butte near Pierre is Woyakapi, a true story. It was in the moon of falling leaves, when the dry grass was yellow on the hillsides, that the moccasins of a young Arikara scout were softened by the morning dew. The Arikara were at war with the Sioux, standing straight as a young cottonwood on his hilltop lookout. The Arikara's sharp eyes saw nothing but the yucca above the banks of Minnesota. When the Sioux arrow found its mark, the brave Arikara began his death song, running with his last breath to warn his camp. Proud were the Sioux of their enemy's courage. On the long trail of his death run, they placed a rock over every drop of blood, forming in the center of the long curve the sacred symbol of their own tribe, Kea, the turtle. To this